What's up, guys? It's Matt from RC Overload. Welcome back. I know it's been a couple of weeks. I've been extremely busy with a bunch of things. Setting stuff up on the website, setting up a whole bunch of new projects for this winter that I am totally excited for. Some of you guys know I actually just recently won a Sakura, I believe that's how it's pronounced, Sakura D4 drift car. That'll be coming in soon. I can't wait. And we got a whole bunch of other things going on. Some maintenance videos, some other build projects going on. So, been working on that the past couple of weeks, you guys. Also, just recently got sick, pretty bad. Ended up going to the hospital. However, I'm good now. It was just more of a lack of, I wasn't taking care of myself and just ended up getting really sick. So, we're good now. Taking care of myself. We're back to making some videos. And yeah. That brings me to today's video. Yay! So today's video, you guys, some of you guys know I have been working a lot over the past year with CBE RC Fab. They have made a ton of great products for the Axial Yeti, and today they have actually recently produced another great item that I wanted to show you guys, which I think a lot of you with the Yetis are gonna find awesome. As you know, with my Yeti-X, this guy right here, don't mind the tire, it's in maintenance, working on it a little bit. As you guys know, we put a slash 4x4 front end. 4x4 front end in. And it's a beast. Even with the stock plastic suspension in here from the slash, this thing is a monster. It can just take a beating. But one of the coolest things about this Yeti-X is the 14 gauge steel plate that's on the bottom side of this, right? Don't mind all the dirt falling out. Like I said, still cleaning it. But the 14 gauge steel plate, which is really cool because it adds a lot of protection to the underside of the truck, right? Yeah. Pretty cool. However, that was only available for the Yeti-X kit. Well, CBE RC Fab came up with a great idea. Why not make it available to just the regular Yetis? The 1/10 Yetis. That would be awesome. Guess what they just did? They made a skid plate. Yes, a skid plate. For your 1/10 Axial Yeti. Stock. Does not need to have the Yeti-X conversion. Doesn't need to have anything special done to it. A plate that mounts right up to the underside of your stock Yeti. Like so. The only thing that you would need to do to make this work is you actually, if you guys see the 3 holes here at the top, you actually have to drill 3 holes here in the middle. Not a big deal because those do not interfere with anything on the inside of this chassis. It's actually the same setup. Here, I'll show you guys real quick. It's the same, get up here. Same setup, more dirt falling, as the other one, right? The only difference is the mounting holes at the top. You had the 3 here because it was a slash setup, but now you have your 4 because of the stock Yeti setup. I mean, come on, that's awesome! Skid plate. Stock Yeti. Ultimate basher. Ultimate racer. Ultimate crawler. Awesome. Another cool little benefit that most people won't really think of when putting these plates on is it actually adds a little bit, just a little bit, of lower center of gravity by adding more weight to the bottom side of the truck in the middle. I find that actually a great idea because this is my crawling Yeti, okay? This is more of a crawler I've turned it into. And so that'll certainly help. And plus when I'm going over rocks and stuff, it'll help slide and whatnot. You know, it's pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is actually bring the camera in a little bit closer, you guys, and I'm going to show you how to mount this up to the Yeti. It's very simple. very easy. The hardest part is just drilling 3 holes. But again, I will show you how to do that. Also, if you order up the skid plate, they make sure you have the necessary hardware to put it in. The screws that they provide are 3mm by 14mm. So they're little tiny screws, you guys can see. Voila. Alright, cool. So, let's bring the camera in a little closer, show you guys how to mount this thing up. Quick, simple little tutorial. Let's go! Alright guys, so, got it, the chassis, all set, ready to go. I'm going to point out a couple of things here real quick. The receiver box right here, you won't have access to it. You're not going to have access to any of the screws down here unless you take the plate off, okay? That's not going to be a big deal for me because all my the wires and the receiver that was in here is actually going to be getting put into the scale gas tank or the fuel cell in the back. I'm going to rewire it up into there to make it a lot easier. I don't like this setup. It's just a little bit too much of a pain and you can never get the gasket to sit back right. So, we have the chassis here. All these screws, alright, I'm going to show you guys as we go what screws need to come off. It's mostly going to be these 4 right here for the lower control arms, and then these 4 up front here, because you're making 3 new holes along in here. Now the easiest way to do that, right, now you could actually pre-mount this up using the old screw holes to hold this in place, and then make marks on the 3 holes that you need to. However, I had a pen. Okay, got a pen, pencil, anything to make a mark is going to be fine. Okay, so I'm going to line these up as best I can. That looks pretty good right there, and I'm going to make my marks. Okay, there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. Okay. So now when I pull them off, I actually have 3 faint marks. You guys may or may not be able to see them on the camera. However, I can see them right there. So, first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to drill and make these marks. Okay? So let's do so. Now, I want to mention, this bit, if you guys can see it, is smaller than this screw. I don't want to make the hole bigger than the screw because I still want the screw to thread into the plastic chassis to help hold this plate in, because there's nothing on the other side of it. Sure, you could probably drill it through, and if it is loose, put a nut on the other side, but you got to move so many different components underneath here to get access to these on the other side to put a nut on. So make sure that you use a drill bit size smaller than the screw that you have. Alright, so let's go ahead and start drilling. More. One more, and there you go. Voila! You guys can see, I now have 3 holes. Okay. So, next step is we are going to remove the 4 screws off the front and the 4 screws off the back. So I'm going to do that real quick here and jump ahead on the camera. Alright guys, so I took out all the screws that I needed to. Again, the 4 in the front and the 4 in the back here. I've cleaned the plastic chassis. That way there's no rocks, no dirt, no nothing. You want to make sure you do that so that way it doesn't sit unevenly or you have a hard time trying to line things up and so forth. So again, make sure the chassis is clean. Next, I've already pre-placed all the screws, making sure everything lines up okay. Started to thread them a little bit with my fingers. What I'm going to do now is actually tighten these down, not snug, just loose enough so where it kind of touches the metal, you know, where they're snug down to the metal. And I'm going to do the middle first, the back, and then the front. Once they're all down flush like that, then I'll go through and I'll tighten them all up again. That way it makes a nice secure, everything's level, and you don't run into any problems. Plus too, if you run into a problem with a screw, you strip something out, you don't have to take it all back apart again for whatever reason. Everything's kind of loose, makes it a little bit easier if you have to do that. So, I'm now going to finish putting the rest of these screws in, and I'm going to show you guys the final product when it's all said and done here. But to give you guys a quick little idea, okay? Alright, so as soon as we come right back, you'll see it all together. Alright, there we have it. Look at that, that is so sweet. You guys kind of take it in here for a minute. Awesome, awesome. A couple things I just want to let you guys know of real quick here. When you are installing the front end, okay? Again, like I said, I put the 3 middle screws in first. Then I went down and put these in. Then I put these in. Again, I went flush to the metal. Then I started going back around and I tightened everything. When I was tightening these down, I went in a crisscross pattern, okay? Like so. I noticed as I was tightening it, the metal, if I can get this to move away, you can see it actually ended up bending to form the bottom of the chassis, because this section of the chassis actually bumps out a little bit. So the metal is pliable when you're screwing it down to form fit against it. And this actually sits much better against the chassis. So, just want to let you guys know of that. It is supposed to have a slight bend in it, okay? That's perfectly normal. So, definitely some more lower weight in this, some more weight in general, which I like, you know, for crawling. So, awesome. Cool. There you guys have it. CBE RC Fab skid plate for the Axial Yeti. No special modifications required. And I think that's it, you guys. So, thank you so much for watching. I know it was possibly a long video here, but nonetheless, still a cool product. So, till next time, guys, I will see you later. Don't forget to subscribe. I got a ton of awesome stuff coming here this winter. Don't forget to leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. I will post all the information on this product in the description box below, as well as where you can find to order it. So again, leave me a comment, like the videos, and I think that's it. I keep feeling like I'm forgetting something. Whatever, I'll make another video when I remember it. Alright guys, I will see you later on the next RC Overload.